So we're going to start off with a pretty big topic in terms of eSports, competitive gaming, Major League Gaming, which is one of the the bigger sort of companies out there that does this sort of thing. They've been around since 2002.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. They do Call of Duty stuff, Hearthstone, StarCraft tournaments, et al. They were sold to Activision for a pretty sizable amount of money, $46 million. It's obviously esports is growing. It's getting bigger. We talk about how it's on ESPN too, and people are not only watching it, but the fact that it's on the cable network is big. That it's
right.
At least that ESPN is interested. And it wasn't clear at first, and now it's coming a little more clear what maybe Activision, Blizzard, same company, wants to do with this. And it seems like they bought this really for the value of it as a streaming channel,
right?
And the infrastructure in place already. Maybe not necessarily for the tournaments that are already under operation, but they see the value in having this station available, at least online, that they want to put money into and develop, as basically want to create their own version of ESPN, but for esports. Having like a one-stop network, even online, to do that. And it makes sense.
Well, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense because a lot of the games that were very, very popular on MLG, especially in recent years, Hearthstone, StarCraft, Call of Duty, those sorts of things, those are already all under the Activision banner. And or Blizzard, the Activision Blizzard banner. So not only do they get the already in place streaming infrastructure, they're already in control of the games that are very commonly played on MLG before MLG was even sold to them.
Which could be good or bad. We can talk about conflict of interest.
It's there.
It's going to be there. That was my first biggest concern was, all right, Activision bought this. Are they going to come up with their own games and then use their network or channel as a promotional tool for new games coming out? That's really douchey.
You have a game company owning a competitive gaming league. Yes, there is definitely, I think, going to be some advertising here through competitions of involving new games that they're ready to throw out in the public. For instance, Overwatch is about to come out, which is a Activision Blizzard game. It's kind of like their version of Team Fortress, and I guarantee you we're going to be inundated with that through this.
That's they got to play it safe. That'd be like if ESPN bought the Portland Trail Blazers and all of a sudden you have oh, here's a special on the Trailblazers, what they've been doing in the offseason. It's just like, well, you would never be covering the Trailblazers otherwise.
Trailblazers Live and Uncut, the reality show. Yeah.
It's just like, you got to be really... I'm not saying they're going to do that. I think they're going to be smart about it.
I would hope.
But the potential is... And obviously, do they really need to be pushing the games that are huge already, like Call of Duty and StarCraft and Hearthstone?
I have no problem with that because they were already pushed.
But they wouldn't have to push it additionally with their own version of ESPN. Their own gaming network channel.
Then again, I'm not sure Activision is to be trusted. I also don't know that we can call them smart all the time.
Like the Empire now.
So
they're growing too powerful.
We'll have to see.
The chief executive of Activision Blizzard, Robert A. Kotick,
Bobby Kotick, said Uncle Bobby is what they call him at work. I know friends who work at Activision.
Oh yeah,
they call him Uncle Bobby.
He likes his coffee black. Said he saw an opportunity to build a bigger mainstream audience for esports through more professionally produced events modeled on traditional athletic competitions and the broadcasts that brings them into home. This is where you have to be very, very careful. We talked about this before, and how no one watches these competitive esports on TV because the audiences don't watch them there; they watch them online.
And a large growing contingency likes to watch them live as well. I have people who come into work all the time who talk about how they went to a competitive gaming event and how excited they were. And for me, it doesn't appeal, but basically TV is the last place where people are going to be doing this.
Activision intends to bring to them, this is from a New York Times article, Activision intends to bring them to viewers through a traditional television channel distributed by cable and satellite providers. So they're going to have an online channel, I think, which will probably be some sort of subscription, the way in the future, 5-10 years now, it's even started happening now that you can just buy the rights to watch HBO Go, Showtime, and you have the content on your computer. I can picture them doing that. They're bringing in people that used to work for, I believe, ESPN and NFL Network. Steve Bornstein, who used to be a chief executive there. So they're going to model this on a sports network. The problem is, though, is that the reason why people still, by and large, like to watch sports on TV is that's where sports was originally viewed. And that's where you need like a big TV to watch Super Bowl, all these players running around, you have the crowd. It's more cinematic, major sports events, to me. It seems like that's where if you go to someone, would you rather watch a sports event on your computer or your TV? 99% will say I want to watch it on TV. That's a silly question. You're talking about a video game or competition. If you ask the same question, there's no reason to watch it on a big TV.
Well, here's the weird thing, because I've always thought that way, but I'm literally sitting here and my mind is churning and kind of changing. I think that because the people who watch this are used to computers, computer gaming, things like that, it's natural for them to watch it on their computer, but things like StarCraft have a shitload going on. Mm-hmm. Same thing with things like Dota or whatever those games are. I think if you made a channel just for major, I'm not saying it would take off, but I do think there would be a group of people who would want to watch it on a big screen because you're going to see everything a lot clearer. This is why people like it live, because there's big screens to watch this shit on.
I'm not entirely sure, just because nowadays a lot of people have like their 24-inch monitors, 20-inch monitors. Okay. You have 2 monitors set up. You can look at your email and talk to someone on Skype while you're watching the competition over here. When you're watching a sports event on a TV, yeah, you can have a computer and a TV, but usually your attention's glued to just the TV. It's usually, if you're really watching something, it's hard to go back and forth to the same extent. I just think the audience isn't there. I think trying to bring over traditional TV audiences is the wrong idea.
Well, no, I do agree with you there. Like I said, I don't know how big of a market there would be, because you'd have to convince this generation that was brought up on watching things like YouTube, not just Major League Gaming, but YouTube, pirated TV shows, things like that on their computer. You'd have to convince them to put the computer down and sit in front of a TV. I'm just saying that there are benefits to watching it on a TV.
Yes, there would be, but I think then you lose something that watching on a computer, and that's
okay.
I think people are too used to that. We're talking about an audience that's like 25 and under, 20 and under. That's going to be the bulk of it.
You'd probably lose the chat that's associated with watching it.
So now you're in the age now where our generation is unplugging. A lot of people don't have cable anymore. Do you have cable?
I won't for much longer. We only got it for a limited time because it made our internet cheaper.
Honestly, I use it mostly for ESPN, live sports, and Forensic Files reruns to fall asleep to. So if I didn't have that, I mean, I would need to watch it. And
I think we've discussed this, because I use it solely to DVR Tom and Jerry. The day we got it, I found Tom and Jerry. I hit record all episodes, and when I'm bored, I'll watch Tom and Jerry. That's it.
But I like shows like Suits on USA. But you know what? With Hulu, you can just get Hulu and watch them.
It's finally ad-free now. We're getting off topic.
We're getting off topic. So I think this is an interesting idea. Watch out for Activision trying to do too much too soon in terms of making it a cable TV channel. I think they should stick to online, and they'll be a lot safer, and plus it'll be a lot cheaper, and plus they don't jump through the hurdles of getting cable companies to sign up to carry them. And watch out for them maybe trying to overly promote their own games or new games coming out. That's going to be maybe not for a year or two, but down the line, once this gets going, you're going to have to be, are they really doing this properly?